Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Cash Flow with JVH. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that I get questioned about all the time. How do you determine levels of support and levels of resistance when reading a stock chart? Just as a reminder, please subscribe to my channel, share it out with your friends and family on your social media networks, as well as give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. Okay, so first of all, what are levels of support and resistance? Well, they're areas in which price has reacted to some kind of change in the past that could potentially be used and potentially occur again in the future. Why are support and resistance levels important? Support and resistance levels can offer possible trade opportunities as the stock price in the underlying changes. So, in other words, different support and resistance levels could potentially, again, keyword, potentially offer you an opportunity to buy or sell that stock based on the correct reading of the support and resistance levels. So, what are the 5 criteria that I use when looking to read support and resistance levels? Keep in mind, I am not a financial advisor. These are just my 5 criteria that I use when trying to figure out support and resistance levels when reading stock charts. You also don't need to meet all 5 of these in order to prove out a support or resistance level. But the more criteria that you can use and identify, the better you will be at qualifying a support or resistance level for that stock. Okay, so the first criteria that we're going to use to identify support or resistance levels is number 1, swing highs and lows. These are the highest and lowest price points in the most recent times. So as you can see here, we have a high, a high, a high, a high, and a low, a low, a low, and a low, right? So these are the high swings and the low swings. That's number 1. Number 2, you want to have multiple rejections. So here on the right, you can see a rejection there, a rejection there, a rejection there. So the more rejections you can have that you see and identify, the more qualified that support or resistance is going to be. In this case, we found 3 rejections from a resistance level that we can use to qualify this as a potential line or level of resistance for this stock. Number 3, it should be obvious and stand out, right? So little ones, for example, around here, or maybe around here or here, they're not necessarily levels of support or resistance because it's not necessarily obvious, right? You want to see things like this. You want to see things like this. You want to see things like this. These are obvious standouts that these are support and resistance, again, depending on the time frame that you are using to evaluate your support and resistance levels. Number 4 is there should be a drastic move away in the opposite direction. So for example, here we can see a level of resistance, and then here is a dramatic move away in the opposite direction. It plummeted over the next few days, right? And then here is another one where it just plummeted over the next couple weeks, right? So these are drastic moves away that are going in the opposite direction. And then number 5, you want to find levels that have been both a support and a resistance level over time. So for example, here we can see this was a level of resistance back in January, but then here in July, we see a similar line of support. So now this resistance line has now become the level of support. And this is a really good indicator that potentially the stock itself, the stock price, has found a new level of support and will continue to go up and hit maybe and create a new level of resistance. So that's it. Those are my 5 personal criteria. Again, I am not a financial advisor, but that is the 5 criteria that I use to identify levels of support or resistance to find out opportunities to either buy or sell or trade options for the different underlying stocks. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. Again, check out the description. You can find ways of supporting my channel. And as always, try to share my channel out to your friends and family on your social networking networks. And like this video if you enjoyed it. We will see you next time on Cash Flow with JVH. Thanks. Have a great day.